Morning, morning monsters. Thank you so much for being here this morning. So, as you all know, this week we are talking about VR design. Specifically, we're talking about PSVR stuff because Dreams VR is coming out soon. And for people to do a good job with Dreams VR, I think it's important to have the discussion about what makes a good VR game, especially, as I say, on this platform. Obviously, you guys can't program dreams and you can't change dreams, but there's a lot of stuff inside when you're making your dreams that'll matter. That's still nice and hot. The deal with today's game is it's a bit of an unexpected gem. I think it gets a bit ignored because it's a smaller title. Doesn't have like the snazziest anything. It's got a few rough edges, but I think there's some real basic fundamentals. Pix is judging me. Can you see him up there behind the green screen? Oh, and Vertex is like bailing out now. He's like, no, this is about to get weird. There we go. Let's lose the chair. Right. Shooty is one of those games I mentioned that can actually be played. Oh my god, my mic's been muted this whole fucking time. No, it hasn't. Okay, it's good. Oh, brilliant. Shooty is one of those really solid. Let's turn up the game volume a smidge. There we go. Shooty is one of those really solid simple games that does a real good job of just delivering its core fantasy. And it's a kind of game that you could very easily replicate or make something in this genre in Dreams without much stress. So remember how I said yesterday, exercise games have a huge advantage. Okay, hold on. Let's just turn up the game volume a smidge. Oh. Wrong button. I promise. There we go. Come on. Turn it back on. There we go. Okay, how's the mix on the PC side? Let's take a peek. Okay, it's a smidge loud. I'll turn it down. Now remember what I said. Okay. Remember what I said yesterday about games that require physical motion, especially loud declarations, do well from a VR and just a general game design point of view. Shooty, very simple. Now the first thing I'll say of a case of what not to do. Here they've got this VR lobby, right, and they're trying to get you into it. But if you ever actually try use the VR lobby, so we go over to the, I'm not myself controls here. X or circle to teleport, that was it. So that, I'm really not a big fan of that jump teleport that they do there, because it's hard. Shut up, Gordon. It's hard to place myself in a good position from here, and they've got notice how they highlight the button when I'm over it. That's quite nice. Can I upgrade anything? Oh, I can get a few upgrades. So I can get 4, 6, 2. Okay, I can get 4, 7, 8. And I can get 9, 1, 4. Nice bit of physical UI. Yeah, it's all good. Right. So the basic premise of this game. Now at the moment I'm standing up, and I realized as I say this, This is one of those games that actually does really well with you sitting down, and I'm going to switch to sitting down in a sec, because sitting down you get much more prolonged gameplay, and it's one of those things that when people design for VR, they often go, well, if I'm not standing up, what's the point? And I'm like, well, you know, it's really nice if you're doing a fitness or an exercise game, or your fantasy really needs a person to stand up. But the reality is, for longer play sessions, your players often will be a lot more comfortable in a chair, especially a swivel chair. Okay, got that there. How are we for visibility? We're good for visibility. Okay. So now, okay, it's doing this thing where it's placing me really freaking close. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, cool. So this is really nice. They let you adjust the desk height and the okay, let's just go for a, I'm gonna go for a basic blowing raspberries ones for now, because I'm gonna be talking while I, oh wait, let's lose the Gunther, let's try put the Dunder Blaster in there. Let's test out the weapons here. Okay, so here you can set how low or high the guns are, and here you can raise or lower your desk. Okay, I'm gonna raise my desk quite high, actually no, lower it a bit. And guns, can I reach the guns nice and easy? Okay, there we go. So I can reach the guns, and shoot, sorry. Ooh. Oh yes, that was it. Middle bound, and then drop. Okay, cool. Let's start the shift. I'll do a very simple shift, and I'll show you the premise of the game. So this is a classic shooting gallery game. It's not shooting on rails, which is where you move around. It's just a shooting gallery. But the interesting thing is they've actually given you two tasks. They've given you the basic scanning task. Oh dear. Okay, hold on. What we need to do, adjust PlayStation VR. Confirm your position. Now this is one of the, remember I said problems about placement, right? One of the problems you're gonna have, yeah, I heard that. We may have to stand up, which may just totally upset everything. I cannot wait to move to our new house where I have an actual proper study. Okay, let's go with the small little chair I have here. There we go. Because you always need to check your range of motion. Okay, so I can go down to about here without problems. Height, no problem that way. Okay, oh, it's a little bit frustrating now, I won't lie. Oh. So now I've got to do Oh. Yes, I haven't played this game in a while. It's a good thing I chose an easier difficulty while I'm just sort of getting back into it and while I'm speaking to you. So, it's really hard to stream and focus on these kind of distraction games, which are all just about yeah, this game is surprisingly addictive in how yeah, you see the tracking, we are losing it in places. I think that's my fault on setup at the moment. I will freely admit I did not do setup checks before but you see, it's quite a simple thing, but the yeah, this game is, as I say, one of my preferred shooting galleries because the very simple thing of doing checkout while you shoot stuff is actually very effective. Shooting and shopping, Puke America, yeah, basically. Man, I hope you guys include VR Masterclass with the update. There will be updates. I believe that there is a series of tutorials and stuff that come with VR stuff. But there's only so much time to speak about various design philosophies, which is why I wanted to take this time to basically run through some non-Dreams games and VR stuff and pick it out. Okay, so any basic feedback at this point from the VR experience we're speaking through here? So to go through the basic gestures that you do in this game very quickly. Your most... yeah, okay, I'm just going to put my thing on here. Right, okay, so we've already gone through the thing. The reaching up for the gun rail is a whole thing. In fact, actually, I'm going to try standing for my next shift, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to try a standing, because I'm doing a fairly short session. But one of the reasons I like this game is it's one of the few games you can play sitting down, but it's still very active and very physical, which is something I really like. Because I'm not a huge fan of the... yeah. So you see how close they've put you to the... you see how close they... Shut up, woman! So I'm going to turn down the game. Well, actually, hold on. Let me check settings. Let me check if I can turn off her yattering. Sorry, it's just a particularly annoying... Okay, I don't like this insert coin for the options things. It's one of those things... There we go. It's... The insert coin thing is cute, but it's one of those things that actually multiple times I've dropped the coin and it's caused problems. Also, I don't like how close they put you up to these cards. I guarantee you the reason they've put you up close to these cards is the readability of the text, right? That they really wanted to push the readability of the text. but it does kind of make you feel quite... okay, I don't actually like the grenade. I want to... I think I'll put the Desert Fox in rotation. Okay, cool. So let's just test with this alignment here. Okay, so we can easily reach there. That's no problem. And we can easily reach down here. Okay, fantastic. Let's start the shift and we'll go through this. Now, apologies if it's a bit more manic. Scan 50 groceries, kill 20 fruit bowl and power up is active. Okay. Touch to start. Okay. Just keep your gun stash going. And peek out. So now this core gesture, the swiping, when it's done well, is just me putting my hands thing. One of the things I do quite like about this game that is actually quite tricky is there's no immediate obvious ammo counter, so you do actually have to keep in mind the sort of numbers of bullets you're dealing with. Remember what I said about the players assume their aim is better than it is, and that's because even with perfect tracking, players aren't as... I thought so. Players aren't as accurate as they think. So there's a lot of games that fudge the accuracy thing just a smidge. Thankfully, I just do a bit of scanning there. I was certain there was a critter over there. Oh, there we go. I knew there was one hiding somewhere there. It's also, you'd be surprised at how much you shake. Oh, shoot. Come on. Yes, I know. And the faster you scan groceries, the more guns you unlock, which is another mechanic that's not immediately obvious, but does actually make a big difference to how this game plays. The one downside is you quite often find yourself... Okay, there's one just there. You quite often find yourself putting your hands across your body and putting your hands across your hands, which can lead to some tracking confusion. The other reason I like the shooting galleries, a lot of the other shooting galleries you'll see are quite gory or just not very easy to scan because they've gone for realism or they've gone for blood and guts. And do you know, that's not the best take because it's harder to read the gameplay. The easier thing is to go for these colourful fruit You notice how when I'm aiming there, I'm often having to aim in front of my head. My hands are coming dangerously close to the head tracking, which causes a lot of confusion. And you may see the red dot shaking a bunch, and that is a little bit of its tracking, but a large part of that is just your hand shaking. My hand in particular is quite shaky, because you'll see when I steady it like that, down to one. That is if I can ever aim. And I'm dead. So that's the death state. Oh dear. There we go. We can give that a go again in a sec. Oh, okay, let's see what... Morning, Johnny. Good to see you. Interested to see how Dreams VR... well, that's actually my main thing by Ibeck. I think a lot of people making in Dreams in VR will actually really move forward the state of what can be done in VR, because, well, frankly, you guys have nothing to lose. You don't have studios up for grabs, you don't have to pay bills, and you don't have to build tech. So I'm really hopeful that Dreams will innovate and push things. That being said, one of the most useful things before you innovate is to know the basics of what is available. As I said, Beat Saber yesterday we covered. Today we're talking shooting galleries. The key takeaways again is this is not just a simple shooting gallery where you're just shooting stuff. It's giving you a secondary activity. It sounds trivial, but it really ups the difficulty and the enjoyment of the game because it splits your focus. That's a good, that's the thing we do in game design a bunch, where we're like, okay, we're going to give you a simple task and then we're going to complicate it. Let's try again on this one. The gun rail of things coming across is quite a nice mechanic. Reloading in VR can be fun, but that's the other lesson here, is that you don't have to do reloading, because I think a lot of people want to do like really physical reloading, and because that involves bringing and touching controllers together, that's often where you start to get tracking mishaps. Likewise, the resolution of first-gen headsets is on the lower side, so this very simplistic, bulky art style scans really well. And, you know, you don't lose the action on it, which is really critical. It's... The red dot laser really helps you pick your targets. You know, a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, but the dot laser makes it too easy. To be honest, if you see a game without a precise aim like a dot laser, they're almost certainly fudging the aim in your favor. That's the main reason not to show real accuracy with the aiming. That's the only other reason I like Shooty Fruity, is it's a very pure game. There's no fudging, for better or for worse, in the game. Now, if this was a more sort of AAA story-based experience, I'd want a bit more fudging. Oh shoot, you can. I thought you could. Yeah, the fudging. Okay. Oh shoot. Scan these. Oh, damn it. I was trying to hit him before he got here, but he got here too fast. So this is one of the later levels, and as I say, it is significantly more difficult to do this kind of action, physical game while streaming. Because my attention is kind of split 3 ways instead of 2 ways. Oh, fuck off. There we go. Whew. I can see that there is a... There we go. Nemo's waiting for his chance. Flux. Yeah. Dead. We should try once more. We're actually trying to nail this. It is rather difficult. There we go. When I use VR, my dog often gets quite concerned and sits by my feet. I don't know what he thinks is going on. Yeah, it's again another advantage of seated VR games. And I normally do play this one seated. It's just my tracking's not quite set up for it. As the chance of a mishap with a family pet is it's just significantly lower. Right, let's run through chat quickly. With PSVR release, you shouldn't be walking around. Other headsets give you virtual boundary. Yes, you should not be walking around. It is okay for game design to make someone step a meter to the left or step a meter to the right. There's that expectation that they can have a bit of body maneuverability, but no, you should not be expecting people to travel through a space. In fact, the only headset I'd say that's okay with is the Index or the Quest. The Rift S and a bunch of the others, the tracking volumes, just the quality degrades too quickly. The Index and the Vive and all the base station ones are designed for room scale, true room scale, and do a good job of it. But as I say, we're going to focus our discussion down to PSVR because that's what you guys will be designing for in Dreams. You can totally make, and you saw in Beat Saber yesterday, people, I had to step to the left and right to avoid the blocks, but generally speaking, it's more leaning activity. VR headsets, okay, yeah, as I say, it's not within the scope of the things, but yeah, the Vive's got that, and there's the option of pass-through potentially, but yeah. Swing the move controllers to the TV. I'm totally expecting a bunch of troll VR games. I'm expecting some VR games that will intentionally try to make people sick and things like that. Hopefully our rating system and our tools will allow people to avoid those, much in the same way that people sometimes make headphone rip screen games in VR. They're rare, but they happen. Fortunately, people tend to leave comments and people tend to do stuff, and we could do a better job of that, generally speaking. So yeah, it's something we already have that problem, just in a different format. Morning, Wraith. Good to see you. Does the PSVR plug into anything? It plugs into the breakout box from your kit. So there's that. So there is a big cable running across the floor. But as long as the cable is running down your back and not in front of you in any way, you should be fine. Yeah, what Johnny says. Yeah, we call it the breakout box, not the pass-through box, because it actually has a bunch. It doesn't just pass through. It has a bunch of audio equipment and some other hardware in there. Yeah, the box does a lot. Because yeah, when PSVR was developed, it started development before PS4 launched, but consoles get their features locked quite far in advance. You know, yeah. I've got to be very careful how I talk about that, because I have a bit too much, NDA fun. Right, should we give it one more go? Any other questions about Shooty Fruity in particular and designing shooting galleries in VR? Because I think this is a good example. A lot of people with, as I said, we'll cover the other genre, which is on-rails shooters. Picks out from under there. I don't trust you with all those cables. There we go. There are on-rails shooters, which is a different genre we will talk about. But this is just an in-place shooting gallery with a bit of variety spiced in here by, as I say, giving you the grocery scanning mechanic. Yeah. Whew. Okay. Touch to start. Now we really need to get through our groceries as quick as we can. Okay, you saw the tracking gets lost a bit there, so I've got to be quite careful. I think I'm reaching out of my tracking volume. Oh. Yeah, you got to be careful of, again, so there's a lesson there. A lot of people do not have an ideal PSVR setup, but they still play a lot of PSVR games. So much like in the old days when we talked about the safe zone of TVs, because a lot of old CRT televisions and stuff would have edges of the screen which would sometimes bleed over or not be super readable. And the same, by the way, applies for VR. Text, generally you want to keep center of your vision, because things in the middle of the VR headset are much clearer and crisper than things at the side and the periphery. But having said that, oh shoot, I hate when they go behind there. But in a similar way, oh God, I hate these guys. I think I'm meant to be shooting their I always need to remember to drop the guns. Oh God, I don't have any guns around me. There we go. I think there's a similar problem, as I was saying before I was distracted by various fruit trying to destroy my livelihood. Oh shoot. I shouldn't focus so much on the... too distracted. So, if we do this again here, one sec. Adjust PlayStation VR, confirm your position. So you see there, I'm starting to lose to the edge. So I think I'm just going to shift it a bit to the right. There we go. It's not ideal for my camera position, which is why I haven't been doing it. Before I go back in, I'm just going to check where my feet are. Okay, yeah, I'm off to the side, which is unfortunate. But anyway. Yeah, Project Morpheus, as it was called, was in development for quite some time. A lot of people don't know that this is not Sony's first VR headset. Sony's actually, not Sony PlayStation, but Sony Corporate has actually done a ton of VR headsets prior to this for enterprise and other applications. But this was a big leap forward, much like other VR stuff leaped forward at the time. Yeah, the multitasking is really what makes this game. It's more of, I would say, the shooting gallery genre. Multitasking is a general design principle that you can always push people into. But this is kind of the stuff that works really well on Dreams, as Ibex says. I'm glad to show to you, M10. yeah. Okay, cool, Johnny. Glad you're getting some inspiration. That is the point of this series. Okay. So we'll go through. How are we doing for time? 7. Okay, great. But yeah, text, nice and simple. And yeah, as I say, you've got to be really careful of making the player reach too far to the left or the right. Because they will get frustrated with it, just like I was getting frustrated, they will get frustrated with tracking glitches. And when that happens, they'll, some of them will get frustrated with the hardware, but then some of them will actually just get frustrated with your game. So it's always worth bearing that in mind. Okay, we're getting into the feel of it now. Because I don't want to run out of ammo mid thing, I'm just tossing a gun if I see another gun coming up. Those little hoppy bastards are really hard to nail. And I don't know why. Come on, cactus. You see any of them? You see the audio cue lets me know that there is stuff in the shop going through, even when I can't necessarily see them. Oh, shoot. Ah. Oh, shoot. Problematic. Oh. Ah! I'm not scanning. I'm gonna die in a second. I think I need to maybe change my weapon loadout, because you notice how there's no cheaper weapons. They're all sort of halfway loaded up. So I think I need to return to the staff room, change my weapon loadout so I get a earlier break, because that's part of the RPG element of this is you can equip more powerful weapons, but they'll only unlock later because you need to scan more groceries for them. So I think I need a cheaper weapon to go through. Those big ones are bullet sponges, yeah, but it looks like I should actually be shooting the projectiles as well. But yeah. And yeah, the other reason I like Shooty Fruity is I can shove people into it quite easily without worry of nausea. This style of game is very comfortable for most people, and I don't, as I say, I really like not having to worry about the blood and gore aspect, because it freaks out more people than you think, especially in VR. Right, let us check our... we were doing Smash to a Pulp as a mission. Let us check out our... Okay. In terms of... Okay. I'm just tossing these because I just want to take a look. Okay, so you see at the bottom we have how many, how much damage these do. Okay, there's literally no reason to equip the Gunther because this is just a better gun in every way by the looks of things. Oh, where did I drop it? There we go. Okay, so now we want something that's one trolley. There's only one trolley gun we have, and that's the Biff and Jessen. I mean, this is a trolley and a bit. How much more damage is it? Significantly. Okay, let's go for the Desert Fox. 2 trolleys. I don't actually like the Thunderbuster MK2, so I'm going to go for the... I'm going to go for the pump action. And then I'm just going to go for the Klassikov, which I don't think I'll get to, but that's fine. Because if I have guns on the trolley, on the rail I don't necessarily want, it just means that my odds of pulling the right gun are lower. So we'll go for that design. Have a good basic gun. Touch to start. Okay. Okay, pulling across, pulling across. I love that little... Oh, shoot. Sorry, I got a little bit tied up with that cute mechanic I wanted to show you guys, which is you can actually sometimes catch the fruit and then execute them Mafia style, which is just satisfying when you've been a bit frustrated by the little blighters getting the better of you for a while. But yeah, during this phase, we really want to make sure we're scanning and getting our grocery contingent. Knock the guns off the ground. Yeah, so the physics aspect of this really does sort of make it a little bit more chaotic. And if you mostly stay on top of the grocery scanning and you don't drop stuff, you don't have to do a mad grocery rush. I hate these bullet sponges. Oh, shoot. Have I unlocked a new gun yet? No, I really haven't, have I? This is problematic because I've now got another one of these guys. I'm sure there is a way I can grab their... Yeah, they're pulling too much of my attention. I'm losing these other guys and then they're ending up doing more damage. Look at that smug face laughing at me. Okay, we'll try another mission because I don't want to get stuck on this. I want to show you another element of the game because it's not all just this. I just happened to show you a night mission and a day mission. I'm going to show you one of the other formats. Thank you for linking the store link. Yes, that's one of the reasons I picked it, Rag, is a lot of people dismiss it as shovelware. Right, going through inspiration. Static, I really do enjoy Static. We are going to be showing some puzzle games during this. Cool. Okay, so let me show you the other type of mission that I've been avoiding because I really suck at them. So there's two others that I've unlocked so far. There's the food one, and then there's... Well, actually, is this my first yellow one? I don't think I've done a yellow one yet. Okay, let's go for the yellow one. Okay, I'm learning with you here as well. Oh yeah, that's fun. With grenades, if you put them to your mouth, you pull the pin. Otherwise, you have to use your other hand. Okay, pack and shoot closed. Oh god. Okay, I need the instructions for this one. Place the correct groceries into the correct chutes. Pull the lever to complete orders. Okay. Right. Always be scanning. Oh dear, so I can't just do this blind anymore. Okay, good news is there's not a penalty for incorrect packing. Bad news. Oh dear. Force of bloody habit. Anyone see gross? Okay. Okay, we've got a bit of an infestation. Oh, shoot. Okay, we need to get this back under control. Oh, those guys are bad. Those guys are really bad. They're a bit of a bullet sponge, but they're also, if I recall, they do quite a bit of damage. Strawberries, not total bullet sponges, but they do take a bit more. Neat. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Those guys, when they blow up big. Packing complete, so just ring the bell. Where's the... oh, there it is. Okay, hang on to that for now. Okay, now I'm unlocking better guns. This is going to be more viable. Oh yeah! I love this gun because I hate bullet sponges, and this gun really sees them through. I don't know how much it's worth holding onto. Oh, Kalashnikov. Okay, now we've got some survivability. Okay, I really need to keep my groceries going. I can't see what's... green. Anyone got green? I think there's a green. Oh well. Whew. Okay, that was the first one of those missions I'd done. Nice little slant on the take. I missed one of the stars. Oh, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Okay, how are we doing for time? Okay, let's wrap this up. So you see, there are alternate missions. There's also another with a food court, which I'll let you discover yourself, where you've got to fill up food trays with food packets. And that's a slightly different mechanic again to what you've seen so far. So, nice bit of variety, all in all, across a very simple concept, which is the shooting gallery. Because I think your first instinct with the shooting gallery will to do the classic fairground moving rails shooting gallery, which, to be honest, is a bit of a poor example of the form and quite old game design. Oof. My hair under control. Get cheering, finish our coffee, and wrap up. Right. Oh, my poor green screen's getting knocked about like nobody's business. So you can just make yourself a pile of emergency guns. You can, but if you noticed during the course of play, sometimes when I tried to do that, while I was scanning groceries or doing other activities like fruit smashing into the table, it would knock them away because they were physics-based. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of emergent mechanics you can do there. Bogdan's done some really nice talks on granular synthesis. I encourage you to look them up. Curbs, have you not got a PlayStation? You do, don't you? Sorry, my brain. So you can just make yourself a pile of images. I'm wondering how much VR doing I can do in Dreams without the headset on. You can do a fair bit. I mean, the sculpting of the, like, so let's say you were making this kind of shooting game, making the fruit characters, making the environment. Oh, you do not? Okay. Making the environment, making all the assets, testing the logic stuff. A lot of that you can do. When you get a VR headset, though, you'll then realize maybe the scale of some stuff's off, maybe some core mechanics or how you space things out are wrong, but those are things you can fix. Having worked on VR titles in other studios and gone through things and helped other studios with VR titles, you'd be surprised, especially with the lower resolution and discomfort of Gen 1 headsets. You'd be surprised how little time VR devs spend in VR headsets. It is improving as headset comfort gets out and improves. I mean, you have to remember the PSVR when it came out was, if every other headset was if you talked about tracking solution, visual fidelity, and comfort, and you talk about the initial 3 headsets on the market because they all came out at roughly the same time, which was the Index, the Vive, the Rift, and the PSVR. The Index really got 5 for visual fidelity, 5 for tracking, and maybe a 3 or a 4 for comfort. The Rift got like maybe a 4 for visual fidelity, maybe a 4, maybe a 3 for tracking, depending who you speak to. But then comfort, it got like almost as low as a 2. It really wasn't comfortable. But then the PSVR was getting about, I'd say, a 3 for visual fidelity, about a 3 for tracking, but then a solid 5 for comfort. And it turns out comfort really made a difference. So thankfully a lot of the other headsets have since adapted something similar to the PSVR and improved and varied on it. So now the PCVR headset comfort is really good. But when we started out with the early like the DK1s and stuff, the ski goggle design was prominent, and you'd come out of VR and you'd have this imprint thing here, and you'd have a lot of pressure around the head. It caused a lot of problems. Found you from some random graphic computer you did one day. Okay. Yeah. I have to admit that is by far my compute shader tutorial is by far my most popular tutorial. I need to do some other non-Unity tutorials in the near future. That being said, PSVR's coming out. PS5's coming out. A PSVR patch for Dreams coming out on the 22nd. PS5's coming out on later. PS5 release later. And you know that PSVR is compatible with PS5. Sony has officially said that. Yeah. But I believe Shooty Fruity, if you're interested in it, is on PC as well. I think most, outside of PlayStation exclusives like Dreams, I believe most VR titles come to most platforms eventually, unless there's a very specific hardware limitation that keeps them off a platform. That being said, this was our talking VR design, specifically PSVR design, in preparation for Dreams. Glad you could all be here. I really enjoy doing these talks. I really enjoy talking the design through, and yeah, just having fun. And I really can't wait to see what you all make in VR. I'm really, really amped for it, and I look forward to seeing your Dreams creations. For now, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you when I see you. Take care all.